saying, "Me from him until the day of my death." Then all the voices ceased, save the voice of our father Adam, who spake to Jared by the power of God, just as one would speak to his fellow, saying, "O Jared, my son, offer gifts to God for having delivered thee from the hand of Satan. And when thou bringest those offerings, so be it that thou offerest them on the altar in which I did offer. Then also beware of Satan, for he deluded me many a time with his apparitions, wishing to destroy me, but God delivered me out of his hand. Command thy people that they be on their guard against him, and never cease to offer up gifts to God." Then the voice of Adam also became silent, and Jared and his children wondered at this. Then they laid the bodies as they were at first, and Jared and his children stood praying the whole of that night until break of day. Then Jared made an offering and offered it up on the altar, as Adam had commanded him. And as he went up to the altar, he prayed to God for mercy and for forgiveness of his sins, concerning the lamp going out. Then God appeared unto Jared on the altar, and blessed him and his children, and accepted their offerings, and commanded Jared to take of the sacred fire from the altar, and with it to light the lamp that shed light on the body of Adam. Chapter 19. The children of Jared are led astray. Then God revealed to him again the promise he made to Adam. He explained to him the 5,500 years, and revealed unto him the mystery of his coming upon the earth. And God said to Jared, "As to that fire which thou hast taken from the altar to light the lamp withal, let it abide with you to give light to the bodies, and let it not come out of the cave until the body of Adam comes out of it. But, O Jared, take care of the fire, that it burn bright in the lamp. Neither go thou again out of the cave until thou receivest an order through a vision, and not in an apparition when seen by thee. Then command again thy people not to hold intercourse with the children of Cain, and not to learn their ways, for I am God, who loves not hatred and works of iniquity." God gave also many other commandments to Jared, and blessed him, and then withdrew his word from him. Then Jared drew near with his children, took some fire, and came down to the cave, and lightened the lamp before the body of Adam, and he gave his people commandments as God had told him to. This sign happened to Jared at the end of his 450th year, as did also many other wonders we do not record. But we record only this one for shortness' sake, and in order not to lengthen our narrative. And Jared continued to teach his children 80 years, but after that they began to transgress the commandments he had given them, and to do many things without his counsel. They began to go down from the holy mountain one after another, and to mix with the children of Cain in foul fellowships. Now the reason for which the children of Jared went down the holy mountain is this, that we will now reveal unto you. Chapter 20. Ravishing music, strong drink loosed among the sons of Cain. They don colorful clothing. The children of Seth look on with longing eyes. They revolt from wise counsel. They descend the mountain into the valley of iniquity. They cannot ascend the mountain again. After Cain had gone down to the land of dark soil, and his children had multiplied therein, there was one of them, whose name was Ganun, son of Lamech the blind, who slew Cain. But as to this Ganun, Satan came unto him in his childhood, and he made sundry trumpets and horns, and string instruments, cymbals, and psalteries, and lyres, and harps, and flutes, and he played on them at all times and at every hour. And when he played on them, Satan came into them, so that from among them were heard beautiful and sweet sounds that ravished the heart. Then he gathered companies upon companies to play on them, and when they played, it pleased well the children of Cain, who inflamed themselves with sin amongst themselves, and burnt as with fire, while Satan inflamed their hearts one with another, and increased lust among them. Satan also taught Ganun to bring strong drink out of corn, and this Ganun used to bring together companies upon companies in drink houses, and brought into their hands all manner of fruits and flowers, and they drank together. Thus did this Ganun multiplied sin exceedingly. He also acted with pride and taught the children of Cain to commit all manner of the grossest wickedness which they knew not, and put them up to manifold doing things which they knew not before. Then Satan, when he saw that they yielded to Ganun and hearkened to him in everything he told them, rejoiced greatly, increased Ganun's understanding until he took iron and with it made weapons of war. Then when they were drunk, hatred and murder increased among them. One man used violence against another to teach him evil, taking his children and defiling them before him. And when men saw they were overcome, and saw others that were not overpowered, those who were beaten came to Ganun, took refuge with him, and he made them with his confederates. Then sin increased among them greatly, until a man married his own sister or daughter or mother, and others, or the daughter of his father's sister, so that there was no more distinction of relationship, and they no longer knew what is iniquity, but did wickedly, and the earth was defiled with sin, and they angered God the judge who had created them. But Ganun gathered together companies upon companies that played on horns and all the other instruments we have already mentioned, at the foot of the holy mountain. And they did so in order that the children of Seth who are on the holy mountain should hear it. But when the children of Seth heard the noise, they wondered, and came by companies, and stood on the top of the mountain to look at those below, and they did thus a whole year. When at the end of that year Ganun saw that they were being won over to him by little, Satan entered into him, and taught him to make dyeing, stuffs for garments of divers patterns, and made him understand how to dye crimson and purple and whatnot. And the sons of Cain who wrought all this, and shone in beauty and gorgeous apparel, gathered together at the foot of the mountain in splendor, with horns and gorgeous dresses, and horse races, committing all manner of abominations. Meanwhile the children of Seth, who were on the holy mountain, prayed and praised to God, in the place of the hosts of angels who had fallen, wherefore God had called them angels, because he rejoiced over them greatly. But after this they no longer kept his commandment, nor held by the promise he made to their fathers, but they relaxed from their fasting and praying, and from the counsel of Jared their father. And they kept on gathering together on the top of the mountain, to look upon the children of Cain, from morning until evening, and upon what they did, upon their beautiful dresses and ornaments. Then the children...
So, basically, one second. So basically, Ganun is where they get the story of Peter Pan from. If you heard, it said like he began to play musical instruments, and the devil came into that, and he used that to persuade the children, the righteous children, to come down into sin. We gotta wake up, because the devil using the same tricks. He done fooled the people and is using the same tricks. So then we have in Disney Peter Pan, and we're gonna get into some of these other movies, because the devil also appeared to Adam and Eve as mer people. So then, but they're really this hideous figure, what are they called? The sirens. Sirens are fallen angels, demons, they transform their body, I guess, to live in the sea. Because that's what it says, and we'll get into those videos later. But just getting back to the truth and things for you to consider, because you guys are going and watching these Disney movies and stuff and not knowing the history behind it, that it was a trick from Satan that he used on our ancestors in the beginning to deceive them, and is doing the same thing today. So, get wisdom, because false wisdom is being pushed to you every day. So you got to keep up, you got to keep up and study too. Studying is important. Study for yourself. Focus on the Most High, family, and good works. Hallau, we out.